Hey everybody, I'm probably going to be putting up a lot of videos today, but I'm going to try to keep them very short and very sweet, like me. And just to keep you guys interested, this first video is going to be my review of Paperback Writer, which I have here. I hesitate to show it because on my webcam it's going to be backwards, but just watch this video in a mirror and you'll see it right. Anyway, I'm so tired. This book, the entire title is Paperback Writer, a novel by Mark Schipper, the life and times of the Beatles, the spurious chronicle of their rise to stardom, their triumphs and disasters, plus the amazing story of their ultimate reunion. That's the whole title of the book. Mwah. But I love this book. Look at the little Your Mother Should Know Beatles on the cover. It's so cute. I just love it. Basically, this book is the most hilarious Beatles-related book I've ever read. Maybe one of the most hilarious books of anything I've ever read. This guy, Mark Schipper, is really funny. He wrote for a bunch of, like, music magazines and things, humorous stuff, and he's just... every line in this book makes you want to laugh out loud. I'm not kidding. I was reading it on break at work a few times, and a lot of people were peeking into the break room like, is she talking to herself? Why is she laughing out loud? And it was because I was reading this book and just dying laughing, which makes me look like a complete nerd, but hey, I am, so that's cool. But seriously, it's so funny, and there are pictures in the book, and even the pictures are just absolutely hilarious. The thing about this book is it's a history of the Beatles, but none of it is factual. It's all fictitious. It's all a parody of sorts of the Beatles. If you've ever seen the Ruddles film, it's sort of along that kind of line of humor, and it's so funny. If you have not seen the Ruddles film, you need to, because it's hilarious. My only stipulation for reading this book is you new fans out there who don't really have a very firm, strong knowledge of the Beatles' history, the Beatles' legacy, you need to get a firmer stance in that knowledge before you read this book, because a lot of the jokes are going to go right over your head because you're not going to know what they're joking about if you don't know a little bit about the Beatles' history. If you do have a very firm ground in how the Beatles became the Beatles, you'll find the book a whole lot more hilarious, and you'll love it as much as I do, because it's funny whether you know anything about the Beatles, but if you know more about the Beatles, you'll get more out of the book. But the pictures themselves are just really funny. Like, for instance, they have this picture. I don't know how well you can see it on my webcam, but the caption is, God dropped by unexpectedly at this 1963 photo session. George Harrison waves hello, but the others cannot see him. It's just so funny. My webcam is being silly today, but it's just stuff like that. And the whole book is just this entire parody. For instance, Brian Epstein, as we all know, he was a furniture salesman at his parents' furniture store, but in this book he's a plumber. And he goes to the cavern to fix like a leaky faucet in the girls' bathroom, and that's how he sees the Beatles in this book. It's just stuff like that. It's hilarious. It is so funny. I can't even explain how funny it is. Then they have this picture, you know, where they're walking past the BBC, and it says, in pre-Beatlemania days, the Beatles could walk down a London street just like anybody else. In this 1962 photo, group goes in search of Hoodlum, who cut off the end of George Harrison's tie, because George's tie is like shorter than all the rest of them. Just, if you don't find those funny at all, you probably won't like this book, but I find it pretty funny, and it really crackles me up. So, if you have read the book, please leave a text or video response telling what you think of the book, and if you're planning to read the book, come back to this video after you've read it and let me know what you thought. And I hope you read it. I think someone said they were going to buy it and weren't sure. Buy it. Buy it and read it. It is so funny. It's worth it. I paid $1 for it, but I seriously would have paid like 15, $20 for this little paperback book because it's absolutely laugh out loud hysterical from front page to last page. It's so funny. Completely not factual, you got to keep that in mind, and completely just to be funny. When you get to the Beatles reunion part, it's kind of like heartwarming and sweet, but it's still funny. Because in the book, they actually have a reunion performance at Shea Stadium, opening for Peter Frampton, I think. Could you imagine the Beatles opening for Peter Frampton? See, it's just funny. It's just absolutely hysterical. So please read it. You'll enjoy it. I guarantee it. If you don't enjoy it, then you have no sense of humor. That's my take on it. Thanks. Let me know what you think of the book if you have read it, or if you're going to read it, come back and let me know what you think. See ya.